I recently just returned to Two Wheels after having 8 months off. It's been definitely a hell of a journey. For me, my life changed in an off-road vehicle accident which left me in ICU for 4 days. I was then in hospital for the next 10. I ended up with 2 punctured and collapsed lungs, a broken sternum, broken nose, and went on to have about sort of 9 anesthesias, 12 surgeries, and the longest resulting impact of all of these was 3 sternum reconstructions. So some complications along the way. I had 7 months off the bike, another 5 months on, and then another 8 months off. So virtually over the last 2 years, my career title hasn't necessarily been professional athlete. And I'm just excited now to fully say that I'm cleared by the cardiothoracic surgeons and back on 2 wheels. It's been unreal. I think my first sort of steps back to 2 wheels felt very foreign. My brain and body weren't necessarily in tune together, but it's refreshing after being in the sport since 5 years old and doing this professionally since I was about 14. Going to 2 Olympic Games, having 8 world titles under my belt, it's really nice to start from the ground up, put the L plates back on and really start from the beginning. There are some goals that I definitely want to still achieve, like another Olympic Games. So for me, being a year out from Tokyo at the moment, my goal is to first and foremost return to racing, get back to where I used to be, and the level of sport's increased now. So I not only need to be back where I was, but also increase again to the new standard of the World Cup scene. From there, I want to qualify myself for the country to qualify to the Olympic Games, and I'd love to be able to say that I can represent my country at my 3rd Olympic Games in Tokyo. The biggest obstacle was honestly to get clearance. I had to be patient for 8 months with this final sternum reconstruction. So the final 3rd surgery, I had a plate, 10 screws put in and then 2 wire cables threaded between my heart and sternum to basically bolt my chest together. So I have some new metal hardware in my chest that's going to stay in me forever. That really was the patient waiting game. Starting again with that 3rd break and 3rd reconstruction, it was really limiting to begin with. Simple daily tasks like not being able to drive for 2 months, not being able to lift my arms above my head for 2 months. It really was like babying this sternum from the beginning. So yeah, to sit back and be patient, and I'm an action sport adrenaline junkie, so me and do nothing doesn't really go hand in hand. And I think firstly, just to overcome that hurdle is probably the biggest one I've had to achieve yet. And then now that I'm back on 2 wheels, I am just so grateful for every moment that I have to be back out there. The sponsors and supporters that have stuck by me through the craziest 2 years of my life, and then now, yeah, hang on for the ride. It's going to be a challenge looking a year out from the Olympic Games. This time 3 years ago, coming into the Rio Olympics, I was fresh off the World Championships in Colombia. I had just won a World Championship title. I was leading Olympic points for the country. Now I'm in the complete opposite. I'm ranked outside the top 50. I haven't been on a Supercross World Championship like Olympic level start ramp in over 2 years. So I think, you know, it is a tall ask, but you really never lose touch of riding a bike, and that's one thing I've noticed is jumping back on again and connecting that mind and body and just bike again. It's all there, and I think now it's the strength and conditioning aspect with my coach Julian Jones from the Institute of Sport in Australia, bringing in the real strength aspect to make sure that I'm ready to obviously hit the track and be alongside 7 girls again on that start gate. Coming into the last 2 Olympic Games, I'd say, my goals were definitely to win medals, and those are still yet unachieved for me. Whilst I've won 8 world titles, I've never won an Olympic medal before. So for me, it's a huge goal to get to the Olympic Games, and there's a massive process that I've got a really strong team of about 7 people around me right now, some really good agency manager, new skills coach on the bike, Luke Medill, program manager, Wade Boots, and everyone knows that I'm a different athlete and we've got some different hurdles to overcome to get back to the top. But I love it. I think this is the closest best sport network that I've had yet. And if I can get to that Olympic Games, I think the mental strength that I've built from going through so much adversity over the last 2 years and going to that place of worrying that I would never be able to ride a bike again, worrying that maybe my career was over, to be grateful to come back from that moment. Now I think having that different maturity and mindset as an athlete to come into Olympic Games is one thing that I definitely overlooked in the past. I think one thing that really let me down the last Olympics was having that target on my back and really ticking every goal, being the world champion and feeling like it was my event to lose. That's not a mindset to come into an Olympic Games, so a massive lesson that I learned, and now I've got every opportunity to gain, and yeah, you know, I think it'd be amazing to be able to not only be there, but it'd be unreal, third time lucky if I could win an Olympic medal.